Welcome everyone to Philly D with a touch of Keemstar.
That's the podcast name. Philly D with a touch of Keemstar.
Or Reimagining the Magic 2K18. We're getting started now. This is Katie.
This is Julie.
And yeah, we're gonna try to keep our format, but we're kind of in a giggly mood. So, thank you to everyone who's stuck with us.
Right, I'm getting ready to go play some Overwatch comp tonight. Woohoo! I play so proud of myself.
Well, we were on break. You were overwatching. I was familying. So, but we had a nice break, and we're back, and our sponsor has been great with Breach. Just for clarification, we're not directly paid by Breach, but we are an affiliate of Breach, hence the sponsorship promotion. But we do upload on Breach, obviously, and because we have not reached certain key things on YouTube that keep us from being potentially monetized there, namely, we don't have 10,000 views yet, at all. You guys can help, though. Please share. But
yeah, share our content. We love it when people share.
But the nice thing about Breach, and why I'll continue to promote them, is our videos make money from just day one of uploading. Like, you upload and you sign off on monetization and you have a working PayPal, your videos can make money, unless for some reason there is an issue with your content and it is private or taken down. Then it won't make money. But as long as it is on there, it can make you money, and that's great. You don't need at least 10,000 views or so many followers or fall into so many restrictions and guidelines. The advertisers seem to be pretty cool with most things, at least nothing that we've seen anything that people would have issue with. But then again, it is not as big as YouTube. But it's also why I encourage everyone to give it a try. It is free to sign up, and you're under zero obligation to do anything except put up your content and see what happens. And so, well,
that gets our sponsorship out of the way.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to toss out there some real quick Disney news. If you're planning on visiting Disney World in January through February, expect the Magic Kingdom to be slightly more boring, as several attractions are closing for refurbishment. Splash Mountain's closing for refurbishment. Pirates of the Caribbean's closing for refurbishment. The Riverboat is closing for refurbishment. Stitch's Great Escape is closing for good. It's, I believe, as of this weekend, it is now closed. So, yeah, it's, I expect to also just see a lot of work walls. They're doing a lot of stuff getting ready for 2020. And at least, yeah.
Was Stitch's Great Escape going down for maintenance, or is it closing? I thought it was closing for good.
It's closing forever.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
it was temporarily turned to a meet and greet spot, and then for the holidays, they reverted it back to the ride, and now it's gone. Bye, Felicia.
I was talking to one of my friends today who used to work in the Disney College program, and she's very excited to see that ride go.
I feel like everybody is, especially our new friend, Park Ride History.
That's true. Park Ride History, new friends, BFFs, podcast BFFs.
Yes. Sometime soon, hopefully, if schedules align, we will have the great Park Ride History man behind the very informative content hop on board to deep dive with us into, well, what he's good at. Park Ride History. So if we get them on here, I really want to talk about that old abandoned water park over there, because I think it's fascinating, and I would love to talk about that with them. Just pick brains, and I'm glad that the weird little theme park subset genre is starting to get some love. Like Defunctland has really taken off.
Mm-hmm. He's
doing really well. So shout out to Kevin of Defunctland, and Disney Dance picked up a lot of traction too. So it's for a long time I mostly saw as the Tim Tracker and the Diz Unplugged were always pretty steady with theme park stuff, but a lot of other content people are starting to pick up speed. I'm wondering if it's because now when people, that with just algorithms and tagging, people doing, like, vacation research, it comes up as part of that in algorithms. It's interesting. So leave us a comment on whatever, how you found us, if you were looking up something about Disney or theme parks and we popped up in an algorithm search or whatever. We'd like to know.
Yeah.
How this is happening. So we're just gonna probably just talk about Star Wars, because I'm gonna call it, when the Star Wars theme parks open, it's either gonna go really amazing, like Harry Potter for Universal, or it's gonna be kind of like Pandora. Like, Pandora did great with merchandise, like, some of that stuff sold out really well, and it's doing okay in terms of attendance, but it did not overall save Animal Kingdom or anything. It was not what they hoped it would be. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with the Star Wars things, or I'm going to call it, and if I do, send me money, it's going to happen, and people are going to be so disenfranchised with Star Wars because of the movies and everything, that it's not going to get nearly anything that Disney was expecting, and people are just going to be like, no. And it's going to be really funny, because they put all this work and all this money into being super, everything's immersive, you're in the realm of Star Wars, you're a character. People are like, I
mean, I don't particularly understand that, because, I mean, as immersive as they try to make it, I mean, there's still going to be hundreds of thousands of people in the park. Like, it's just going to be crowded, and, I mean, Tatooine wasn't that crowded.
But apparently these parks are new planets. New.
Right.
Luxury. I'm like, stop.
But I want to go to planets I've already seen. Please let me go.
I like that just, like, within the first week of The Last Jedi coming out, every new location is now on Star Tours. Like, you didn't even give people 5 minutes to see the movie before a potential spot that they could travel to on Star Tours is Hoth with some red thrown on it.
Right.
I saw that Hoth recolor, Disney. Don't think I didn't see that.
So
that's shooping.
That is one of the things we're going to get to today, is that we do have our Star Wars review today. We're pretty excited about that. At least I am. I liked the movie. Unpopular opinion, but
I liked it for all the wrong reasons, and I disliked it for the right reasons.
Dem Kylo Ren titties.
I have my sober opinion, and then my drinking game drunk opinion of it.
So we'll be talking about that today as well.
Because that's like because it's the beginning of the year. Oh, we do have something we can no longer do. Is the Hall of Presidents open, because it is. It's no longer funny because it's open.
Yeah, no more funny.
Except the Trump animatronic, someone noticed it looked like they had started a Hillary one, and then were like, oops. The face looks weird.
It does.
And the hair looks kind of womanly. It looks more feminine than his obvious, unmistakable... Would you call that a comb-over or a toupee?
It's a comb-over.
Okay, because I'm never quite sure if he glues his hair on or not. It's very weird that he makes that choice every day. That's our president, and he makes that choice. People get on for I don't get on him about his skin, because you know what? Before we had, tanning, machines that painted us, where we could wash it off after a week and stuff, and it's safe for our skin. If you wanted to be tan, you had to go through some intense stuff that left permanent damage. There's a lot of people, male and female, who are into heavy tanning and through the 80s and 90s, and it's permanent, and you kind of make up for it by wearing makeup now to cover the fact you have permanent. So I'm not going to get on him for being orange, because he's probably not even getting the best, makeup advice from his wife. She doesn't seem that involved, and his daughter doesn't seem to really care about his makeup habits to give him advice. She could probably at least do him a solid and recommend some YouTube tutorials. His contour could be better. But, as far as makeup, I'm not going to judge his skin, but that hair. And his animatronic looks, and I like him enough that you can be like, that's our current president. But compared to the other animatronics, which look really close, and especially the newer ones, like Obama's, which is creepy, it's like, come on. Where were you going with that? Bob Iger, what did you do?
Bob Iger, what did you do?
Someone was salty.
Very salty.
I think, like, he was just waiting, like, he had them just, like, every month they just put a new piece on it. They made it just took really slow time to get it done. And it's finally there, and it just, people are underwhelmed. And people are saying, I have to go see the attraction in person and judge for myself, but everyone says when he starts talking, every other President animatronic kind of makes this, like, side-eye expression. I can't really see it in the video, but I have to go in person now because I have to see it for myself. Do they do that? Did they go to every animatronic and program that in? Because that would be funny. and you know, well done. But yeah, so we can't have that bit anymore. And now, unless we talk Star Wars, because Kylo Ren is like, what? Kylo Ren reminds me of, like, everyone's original character they made up for something in the mid-2000s, especially if they were in, like, a goth phase, and really liked Evanescence and then My Chemical Romance.
Oh, God. I never had that phase, shockingly. Like, all of my friends did, but I didn't. I was always the one who was like, I'm so upbeat and cheerful.
It's like, by the way, just spoilers all around for Last Jedi. If you haven't seen it at this point, sorry, but it's been a month.
Yep, we're about to spoil it. We're about to spoil it big time.
It's like, every interaction between Kylo Ren and Rey with that Force Mind connection, I was just thinking of, like, MySpace. And him just being like, did anyone tell you look like Amy Lee from Evanescence?
All the whole time, I was just, my little Reylo shipper heart was so happy. I've been on Reylo since day one.
Reylo's the new Zutara. If people remember Avatar Last Airbender, it is Zutara. It is Zutara 2.0. It really is.
Right? Like, the moment I saw the first movie, I was like, Kylo and Rey, and everybody else is like, they're related. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, I think if it was that big of a deal, like, they wouldn't have this tension. But, you know, I mean, I know the first movie did, but...
We already had the Star Wars sibling bond with Luke and Leia. They're not going to do that twice.
Right, exactly. It's like, I'm like, they wouldn't do that twice, and plus today's audience probably would not take nearly as well to that as before, so...
Because, like, Luke kissed her. That was weird.
Yeah. That would not fly with today's rating system. Like, there's no way.
I do like that John Williams has confessed to the fact that the people making those movies are literally making them as they go. This trilogy was not really pre-planned at all in terms of how it was going to end. Mm-hmm. And he's compensated for that with the score. So Kylo Ren's theme and Rey's theme sound similar because they are. And the fact that their themes work regardless of whatever directions their character goes, the theme can be the same. So if one goes more evil than the other, it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, and something about that is Rey and Kylo are kind of two sides of the same coin. Like, they started in kind of the same place where they had a choice to make, and they've each made their choices, and now, you know, one is doing the right thing and one wants to kill everyone. So, spite. His word is spite.
Kylo Ren's interesting because he's just like, even now, he has a scar on his face, he's Space Zuko.
He is Space Zuko. My honor.
His honor. Because I'm trying to figure out, what do you hate your parents for, Ben? What do you hate them for so much? Your honor?
Right? Like, I can't, like, I wish we could delve a little bit more into exactly what happened. And, like, I want to know why he was such a target for Snoke. Like, why was he had to have some kind of issue that made it easy for Snoke to get in there. Some kind of, I guess, insecurity or just something that made it easy for Snoke to get in there and mess with him. And I don't feel like that has been fully revealed yet. Like, I feel like we've gotten hints of it, but I don't feel like it's been fully revealed, and I'd really like to know.
Like, what if it's a bomb that Han Solo is not actually his dad, for example? That's why he had resentment towards his dad.
Right?
But that'd be weird, because then it's like, okay, Leia, who were you getting with?
everyone because Leia is awesome and everybody wants Leia.
Oh god, I just was reminded of Jabba's palace. She was a slave. Oh no.
Yeah, let's not remember that. I'm just saying that she's awesome and she could have whoever she wants.
Okay, let's go with that because my mind went there, but then it went, oh no.
Like Leia could literally pick whoever she wants. Just like, you, come here.
I like that Chewbacca is now is literally Rey's space dad. Just her dad is Chewbacca.
Right. He's also like de facto Han Solo now.
And like I like the idea that like Chewbacca and Han, like the life debt was more so like Chewbacca was never owned by Han the way people saw it. I see it more like Han was more like Chewbacca's pet. Because Chewbacca really seems to just have his act together. Especially, have you ever seen the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Oh my gosh, yes, I actually saw it for the first time on Christmas Day, and woo, was that trippy.
The Jefferson Starships.
Oh my gosh. I have a friend who loves them. Actually, one of those random things I happen to have known about for like 10 years at this point. I've never listened to them. I have no idea like what their music sounds like. I just know they exist.
Okay, this sounds horrible, but I kind of heard them in passing, but really sealed my mind that they existed was their reference in Supernatural.
Yeah, so this Christmas special is one of the trippiest things I've ever seen. If you've never seen it, it just randomly goes in and out between animation and real life, and it's just like, did you not have enough money to pay the actors to have them in here fully non-animated, or, you know, could you just not afford the effects? You're like, they're just like, well, screw it, we'll animate it.
Did you see how much makeup was on Mark Hamill's face?
Right? Oh my gosh.
He looked like a Ken doll. So much makeup. So much. I'm like, I get it though. At that time, like pretty much everyone in the cast was on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of got to cover that up.
So much animation
and makeup.
Like there's this whole scene where like Boba Fett just like up and saves Luke, and Luke's like, oh gee, this sounds like great, let's go with him, and it's like clearly a trap, and you're like, no Luke, don't, you know better, but he's like regressed 10 years, and
though that was apparently technically the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was weird that it's like it all mostly takes place on like Chewbacca's home planet with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. Is that his wife? Is that his mom?
Right?
Is that his?
That's really clear.
Is that his kid? What is this?
Right? If so, why is he never home?
I mean, does he make a lot of money? He must make a lot of money. He's Chewbacca.
Right.
He like won a medal.
Right. Anyway, back to Last Jedi, because we are way off course here.
Well, that holiday special kind of solidified that Star Wars is just a Christmas thing.
Right.
Okay, so the Last Jedi, is it better or worse than the Christmas special?
I mean, I say it's a million times better, but I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought, I mean, it was long. It was a little too long for my taste, but that's because like the last 30 minutes, like, because I decided it'd be great to get a nice little like mimosa during this, and then by like the last 30 minutes, I'm like, I gotta pee. Why is this movie so long? I don't want to miss any of it.
There's a lot of stuff they just could have cut, and nothing of value would have been lost.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I feel like, gosh, I personally really enjoyed, again, I said my little Reylo shipper heart is so happy, but I really enjoyed the moments of Rey and Kylo talking over their little Force connection. Like, I thought that was really cool, and I thought I felt like it made their relationship a lot more personal, I think, and those moments were a lot more intimate, not in like a sexual way, but just in a like getting to know each other kind of way, like this is who I am.
And I feel like people are against, I get completely why people are against Reylo. Like, I'm not 100% on board, but it would appease everybody who wanted Zutara to happen. And with looking back at stuff like Avatar, Zutara just makes more sense now because age and maturity and just the nice balance of it, and it made way more sense than the hero who was like a 12-year-old kid getting... That was weird. So all the people who did not get Zutara, they should get something like Reylo. Come on.
Right. I just want Reylo because I think they have a really good dynamic, but that's because I'm a sucker for redemption stories, and I really, really wanted Kylo Ren to be redeemed. I don't think he will be at this point. I think if it didn't happen in the second movie, it's not going to happen at all.
Well, this is like a Darth Vader where, like, at the very end.
Yeah, but if it happens at the very end, he'll die. Like, he will 100% die.
Okay, I have to say, what if he dies because his lightsaber is so stupid?
It just freaks out. The crystals that he has in it are very unstable, which is what causes all the crackling around it, and I could imagine them just, like, imploding at some point.
Imagine that's how he dies at the end. Like, he just puts it in his pocket and just...
Yeah, so anticlimactic.
And people are like, oh, this isn't how I wanted it to happen. And I'm like, that's exactly what Disney would do.
Right.
That's exactly what they would do. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I already had my shipper heart appeased with Legend of Korra, because I didn't think for a minute Korra and Asami would be a thing, because 2 women, show for kids, Nickelodeon. And it was an unpopular opinion for a long time. People were all expecting it, like, you know, Mako and Korra to be a thing, and it was going to happen. And that was supposed to going to be appeasing the Zutara shippers, because fire, water, if you know anything about Avatar or Korra, you know what I'm talking about. But no, freaking Korra and Asami was an actual canon thing, and I was like, well, I feel validated now. So I don't need that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate The Last Jedi?
Sober 5-6.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk 7.5, bordering on 8 because I laughed a lot when I was drunk.
I'm going to give it an 8 because I really enjoyed it. I know that most of the issues you had with it were from like a filmmaking standpoint, but just as a fan going into it, I really enjoyed it. I really appreciated that they made a big show of Leia being Force sensitive, because it's been hinted at in the movies before, and it was a big part of the books, but no, it had never been outright just explicitly thrown on the screen before, and that just made me so happy.
I really do feel like because of what happened with Carrie Fisher, it would have been kind of respectful, because if they planned on, you know, again, sorry spoilers, but Luke dying, it would have been kind of respectful if they, like, went together instead of just Leia randomly not being in the next movie.
Right, I was like, you have killed off everyone whose actor is still alive.
I know Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo killed off.
Right, and it made sense. Yeah, and it made sense the way it happened. Like, I think as far as the story went and what was going on, I think it really showed that, you know, our rugged space cowboy basically was a father and did what it, you know, like, was willing to help his son no matter what.
Because they spent The Last Jedi really building the fact that Luke and Leia still had that strong connection despite distance and years.
Yeah.
It'd be really strong. It just would have made sense for them to go together, especially given the fact that Carrie Fisher is very sadly not still with us.
Right. I was just like, how could you do this? How could you kill off the 2 characters whose actors are still here? Like, but I guess we'll see what they do about Carrie Fisher in the next film, because it may just be that we just don't see her, or if we see her, it's like she doesn't speak, and we just see kind of like a face every now and then watching.
A weird CGI face. I don't want it.
Right. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be too bad, especially if it was just in passing. I think they could get away with it.
Yeah,
if she's not speaking, I think they get away with it.
It would have just been like beautiful, also just for the story of Luke and Leia, for them to go together.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
Like, if he's gonna die, like his twin, nonetheless, is gonna go with him.
Yeah.
It's like and also like a booking standpoint, they entered this world in a time of chaos and a rise of the dark side. They exit the world.
Yeah.
In a time of chaos and the rise of the dark side.
Honestly, I don't think what we're seeing is a rise of the dark side. I think what we're seeing is the rise of the Great Jedi, which would be super cool.
Or, like, the rise of the Force being accessible to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a special lineage to have the Force.
I think that was one of the best additions to this movie, was the little boy at the very end who used the Force to grab the broom. and it shows you could be a slave on a planet somewhere. You can be a scavenger like Rey. You can be anybody, and you can use the Force.
Like, you don't need to be a Skywalker or
Right.
a potential hidden Kenobi, which is another popular theory for Rey, that during that time when Obi Wan Kenobi was like nobody, he was getting it on and just spreading the seed.
Right. I think that's something I actually really like about this. I know a lot of people were really hoping that she would have some big connection like that, but I love that she is from no one. Like, I love that she is the daughter of two drunks who sold her for money for more whatever they were drinking. Like, I think that's so relatable, and it really kind of drives home that fact that anybody can be a hero.
And people are saying that that's making her Mary Sue. I'm like, wouldn't she be more of a Mary Sue if she was like the mysterious daughter of Luke Skywalker or Obi Wan Kenobi or something?
Yeah, like, I mean, I've been working on an Overwatch fan fiction for a while, and my character she's just somebody who used to work for the organization who's back now. She got struck by lightning, doesn't really remember her time there, but she was a storm chaser, so it made sense that it happened. I have a long history of writing Mary Sue's, and I'm trying quite a bit to make sure that she has to work for her spot there and on the team. Like, she's not just, oh, I'm super good at shooting. No, she spends hours and hours, months and months learning and training for this.
I taught myself how to not write Mary Sue's by like writing like kind of like the anti-suit. Like, this started when I was like an anime fandom. I would write for like Full Metal Alchemist. I'd make an original character that's like a middle-aged woman who's like a secretary, because I just saw so much hate from Mary Sue. I'm like, well, okay, she's gonna be old and not super attractive and not have any feelings for any of the main characters.
But yeah.
But even that turn, like, but, us being women and writing being a common outlet for female fans, I think the hatred against Mary Sue is very, basically a hatred against female creative expression. Right.
Well, I mean, like, there are times when the characters are just irritating, where you're just like, this person is so unbelievable, but that, it just irritates you. But a lot of times they're not like that. Like, I mean, I've been on Archive of Our Own reading other Overwatch fan fiction and being like, this is pretty good. You're doing a really good job with this. Like, even if it's kind of clear that the person has kind of a mysterious background or, like, doesn't remember who they are and there's no explanation. Like, my character she only forgot a couple of years because as a direct result of being struck by lightning, which is absolutely a 100% something that can happen when you get struck by lightning. She remembers most of her life. It's only a couple of years she doesn't remember. And she is not going to have some big revelation that she had some kind of relationship with another character. Like, that's just not going to happen. She did not work with them. She worked with Winston, and that was it. And obviously there's no relationship there, so I was like, I just wanted it to feel natural. I wanted it to feel like it could happen. But there are ones that are like, oh, she doesn't know who she is, but they're still really good. Like, it just depends on how you write it and how it's handled.
I've been filling in with Supernatural, like, some stuff that just doesn't make sense to me by just not even, I don't even like posting it or just kind of write it for my own self. Like, the fact, like, right now, the season, there's a character that's a Nephilim, and it's the son of Lucifer and a human. And I'm kind of like, and it's like a big deal, this character is a Nephilim, and I'm like, meanwhile, in Supernatural, the Archangel of Gabriel was on Earth among humans and seen fraternizing with humans for millennia. And I'm supposed to believe that it's only now that there's a big deal about there being a Nephilim started by Lucifer. There aren't any Gabriel spawn anywhere.
Right.
Are you expecting me to believe this? There's probably at least a million.
Yeah. There's some things where that totally makes sense. Like, so I don't get the hate towards, like, stuff like, because I used to hear the same thing about Doctor Who. Oh, the Doctor's such a Mary Stu. Like, I mean, which he is. Or Marty Stu, I guess what it is, which he absolutely is. But he's fun. And he's still fun. He's fun to watch. So it's like, as long as it's entertaining, who cares?
I'm already just like, I'm so excited for the 13th Doctor, but I'm also kind of dreading it because she's played by a woman, everything she does is going to be scrutinized a million times more than any of the previous actors.
Right.
So yeah, I had to sidetrack to Doctor Who. I'm sorry, audience listeners, if you don't know what Doctor Who is, but I care a lot about the 13th Doctor because I called it back in 2010.
Right.
I'm personally invested in there being a female Doctor and it being the 13th Doctor because I'm like, dang. I called it. BBC should be sending me checks and they're not. So yeah. But on Star Wars.
Right, yeah, about Star Wars. I mean, I really enjoy the character of Rey. When I watched The Force Awakens, I was so excited because I felt like I related to Rey. I was like, I get it, girl, I get it. Like, I understand. And I was just so excited that the main character was a girl because we've spent, two trilogies now where the main character was either a whiny dude or Luke. It's so refreshing to have a girl as the main character.
I like watching Attack of the Clones if you just spend the whole time just thinking that Obi Wan Kenobi has a drinking problem.
I dropped my phone.
The movie makes so much more sense if you spend the whole time thinking Obi Wan is dealing with a drinking problem. Mm-hmm. It becomes funnier because you go to that space diner and you're like, oh, he's going there to meet a sponsor.
Oh no.
He has a problem because he has to deal with Anakin's crap and he's like regretting every second of it.
Right. Also, so for The Last Jedi, oh god, what was her name? The Admiral. I loved her. Like, I love that she didn't take any of Poe's crap. Like, she's just like, no, sit down.
He's like, yeah, you do your thing, you go die.
Right? Like, I was so happy because I was afraid that, like, the way he was being, because he was being such a little jerk at the beginning. I was like, what are you doing, Poe? What are you doing? And so I was so glad that somebody sat his butt down and was like, no.
He was getting to be the Logan Paul of the Star Wars universe.
Right, he, like, for a hot second there, he was like, thinking he was gonna mansplain to the Admiral and all this stuff. I was like,
that he get away with everything he wants because he's a hero.
Right, exactly. And Leia kind of puts up with him because she's married to Han. Poe is Han 2.0. Like, I think she understands him, but at the same time, she also knows how to put him in his place. And when somebody who absolutely would not entertain his crap at all came in, he was like, whoa, okay. So I'm glad that the Admiral put him in his place because that was a lesson he needed to learn.
So, like, I wouldn't mind Reylo happening because then Finn and Poe could get together, and I am all about that. Just because, from a standpoint, I mean, like, in the Force Awakens, Poe let him keep his jacket.
Right.
That's a thing. Like, like, when a guy gives a girl his Letterman's jacket, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't just go giving away his special jacket. It's not like they were, like, best friends for years or anything. That's special. But, and I'm like, it could be a thing, and people are like, and then people say, well, if you don't want Finn and Rey getting together, then you're not for an interracial couple. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's like, yeah, there's some chemistry, but Finn and Poe also have a lot of chemistry. And
right, they all just, this whole, if you notice, the whole cast, like, everyone in this cast has chemistry. Like, we just, like, everyone could get with everyone, and I'd be totally okay.
Like, part of me wants to shit Poe and that douchey general guy from the First Order. He was negating him. Yeah, like, I called him, like Nazi Percy Weasley, because I kept forgetting his name. Especially when I was drunk. It's like, if they took Percy Weasley, just, like, Nazi'd him up a little bit. Yep,
that would be him. And that's something that I think that needs to be talked about. I saw a wonderful article, I think you may have posted it actually, about how or maybe it was just somebody's like, not really an article, but just like a blurb that somebody wrote about how the First Order they're not Nazis, they're neo-Nazis. They're trying to reach into some glorious past and recreate it when they can't.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you're pretty. That's pretty much what it is. I am very upset though because I love Captain Phasma and I'm so excited. We only got like 5 minutes of Captain Phasma, and I will never get Captain Phasma again.
Hey, that's not true. She could have survived.
I hope so because I'm like,
I hope she survives. I hope she's that one character that just won't die. Like, no matter what you do, she comes back.
I waited all movie for Captain Phasma, and all I got was that.
Right, all I got was her falling, like, no.
I'm like, that's like, she's like one of the best things about the new trilogy, and that's all I get. I had to sit through that casino scene.
Right.
I had to sit through that.
I hate saying this because I love the character of Rose. I think she is wonderful. I loved every scene she was in, but I found the casino mission to be kind of boring. Like, I didn't like it.
It was a complete waste of a scene.
Yeah, I felt like the whole thing was kind of a waste. Like, you're telling me that Maz Kanata was too busy to contact this person. Who was she fighting? She I mean, her place got wrecked in the first movie, but where did she go? Why is she fighting? You're telling me you're gonna just tell us she's too busy and can't help you? Like, if she can stop to talk to you on a video screen, she can call her friend real quick.
Yeah, like, if she can FaceTime you, she can FaceTime her friend.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I felt like that plot point I felt very contrived to me. Like, and I know it set up a lot about how other people in the galaxy are being treated by the First Order and how it's affecting them. Like, you've got all these people who are part of the rebels and, you know, working and fighting, but how is it affecting everyone else? So I understand that that's what all of that was meant to do, was show how war affects the underprivileged and the poor populations. But at the same time, the way, like, I feel like it was just too drawn out. Like, I didn't need a 10-minute chase scene on the admittedly really cool cat creatures, but it was unnecessary.
Also, it had all of the quote-unquote subtext made Zootopia look subtle.
Right? And Zootopia is not subtle. Zootopia comes right out and slaps you in the face with it.
And the subtext in The Last Jedi is just like, yeah, it made Zootopia look really subtle.
Right. If it made Zootopia look subtle, that's about as close to a shot in the face from a rocket you can get.
It's all like, if you look at, like, where are these, the weapons, or who makes them? Yeah, they give them to the First Order, but they also give the Rebel Alliance, and it's like, you know, everyone over the age of, like, 12 totally gets, like, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that that's a real-world problem, and greed really is the root of many of the ills. We understand that. We're not watching Star Wars to see that.
I feel like that whole plot line could have been handled better. Like I said, I don't think that it's not important. I just think that it was too drawn out and probably could have been handled better.
So I'm trying to figure out where Rose's place in the story is now.
I mean, she saved Finn's life, which I think was awesome. I think Finn was kind of being... I don't even know what had gotten into Finn's mind at that point. Like, I felt like there was no reason, like, for him to think he needed to sacrifice himself like that. But I think that she's probably going to rise in rank. I think that after that kind of heroism that she showed, I mean, she's going to be appreciated more by the people, by General Leia, by the people who are in charge, and I would love to see her become more than a mechanic.
So, what's Chewbacca gonna be doing now?
Right? Still piloting the Falcon, of course.
I'm like,
somebody.
R2-D2 is underused.
Yes, he was one scene.
Yeah, he had like one moment with Luke where he was like, beep boop, motherfucker.
Right? We're gonna have to bleep that.
Or someone can make it the ringtone. I don't care.
We try to keep this kid friendly.
We try, but R2-D2 goes beep boop for a reason.
Right.
I'm pretty sure George Lucas even said that. Like those beeps. Sometimes he beeps. He doesn't need to beep. But
R2's got a bit of a dirty mouth.
BB-8's like that 12-year-old that's trying to be cool. Like, R2-D2's that college kid, and BB-8's like the 12-year-old thinking they're cool by copying him.
I love BB-8, though. I love BB-8's, like... I feel like BB-8 is super sarcastic, and I love it.
BB-8 is like the iGen R2-D2.
Right,
It's
Sassmaster.
like, BB-8 doesn't give a crap.
Right, Sassmaster, BB-8, 2000, I don't know.
Also, I don't believe that Poe was okay being away from BB-8 that long. Again.
No, he missed his friend.
I'm like, come on, guys. You can't keep separating Poe and BB-8. That's mean.
Right.
That's
also,
like separating Chewbacca and Han.
Right? I'd also like to point out that Greg Grunberg was not in this movie, and I was sad. As a Heroes fan, as somebody who misses him playing Matt Parkman, Greg Grunberg, we miss you. If your pilot died in between movies, rip.
Aww. It was just a weird movie and how they chose to style things, and also, okay, we have to address the elephant in the room that is just shirtless Kylo Ren. What the? Come on.
Okay. I mean, I enjoyed that moment. I enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna lie. It was nice. I enjoy a little bit of fan service, especially when it's for us. Like, I'm glad that it wasn't fan service on Rey's part, because we've already had that with Leia in the original movies. I'm so happy that it was with Kylo.
Yeah, and people are telling me though that Rey isn't sexy just because they haven't put her in a gold bikini, and I'm like, people thought Leia was pretty sexy before that scene. Like,
yeah,
she was pretty iconic in just a white dress that apparently George Lucas tried to tell her she couldn't wear underwear under. I don't know if you've seen her.
no, I haven't heard.
She's talked about that. She talked about it in with her wishful drinking book and her stand-up bit. She talked about when she was playing Leia. George Lucas apparently told her with just such certainty that she shouldn't wear underwear under her costume because apparently there's no underwear in space.
What? Yeah, like, because that's totally true. I ask an astronaut. I'm sure that's not true.
Yeah, and she's just like, he said it was just certainty. Like, he'd been to space, looked around, didn't see any bras or panties or briefs, and it was like, I guess there's no underwear in space.
So yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed the Kylo Ren thing. I mean, and just purely for aesthetic reasons, I enjoy looking at Adam Driver. But
it looks very, he took a selfie in front of a mirror and then posted to his MySpace account in 2006.
Very true. That is very true.
He's just sliding into Rey's messages like, hey.
Like, hey girl, what's up? And she's like, can you put something on? I'm not having any of this.
It's like, I saw you add that new My Chemical Romance song to your MySpace playlist. How you doing, girl?
I haven't had a MySpace since 2006. Like, I wasn't even supposed to have one, and then I made one behind my parents' back, and then I got in trouble when they found out I had one.
I find it so funny when I hear songs that reference the top 8, because that is not a thing anymore.
Right?
But it was, once upon a time, to all you kids out there, you were somebody if you were in someone's top 8 on MySpace.
Oh yeah. I've spent all of like maybe 2 months on MySpace.
But you meant something to someone if you were in their top 8. And then if you were in their top 8 and they took you out, it was like, how dare you? Like, and like, Kylo Ren just really wanted Rey to be in his top 8 and be in her top 8. He just really wanted that.
It's like, you could be, but you have to come to the light side. He's like, nope.
Also, I feel like they're gearing up for Rey to have a dual lightsaber, because she has Obi-Wan's, and now she can have Luke's. Mm-hmm. And I really want them to just Darth Maul that.
Right?
Just Darth Maul it.
Dual wielder. Because you know, like, okay, so jumping over to anime here, let's talk about Sword Art Online real quick. One of the ultimate male insert fantasies ever. I want to see the girl with the dual wielding ability.
So I want another character to have a dual lightsaber. We had Darth Maul for part of one movie, and he had the most amazing lightsaber I have ever seen next to Mace Windu's.
Right, because it's purple.
And now, we have Kylo Ren's emo kid lightsaber. I hate it. I hate it. It looks like a... I don't like his lightsaber design, because it totally looks like something someone drew just to be original and to make him look more badass and emo, and you could have just given him a Darth Maul lightsaber, because you already established that existed and that was possible to make, and it was something used by the Sith. He could have just dual bladed it, but no, he has to have a weird one that could potentially, like, kill himself with. Did you think it through?
So were there any points of the movie that either really impressed you or really disappointed you?
I was impressed that they killed off what was supposedly the ultimate bad guy so soon.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was a shock. And that's the perfect lead-in to my most disappointing scene of the whole thing. The fight where Kylo Ren and Rey fought together, ending in them shattering that lightsaber and going their separate ways. I was so mad. I was like, no, the death of my ship.
But it was exactly like Did you watch Avatar?
Yes, I have seen Avatar.
Okay, so you know the end of book 2, where Zuko and Zutara are in the cave, and she says she heal his scar with her water from the North Pole. And they're, like, gearing up where you really think he's going to turn because of Zutara, but in the very end, his sister shows up and he turns against them. It's that all over again.
Mm-hmm. What happens when our generation starts writing movies?
We took the Zutara cave scene and we put it on a spaceship.
I was so excited. I was like, no, I'm going to say that particular scene, like, the scene where they are fighting together, to me, personally, had the most sexual tension of anything in the entire movie.
And they were just fighting.
Right? I was just like, this is so beautiful, and then just nothing came of it. And I was like, I will shed a single tear for the Reylo ship as it has died.
They're fighting the Star Wars version of red shirts.
Right.
The red everything.
Literal red everywhere. Well, I mean, I know the whole, like, lightsabers are supposed to cauterize wounds so you never see blood, but it covers up the blood.
One thing I missed, though, from, like, that was just magical about the original trilogy, like, the scenes they left in, like, the stormtrooper that walked and, like, bumped his head on a door.
Mm-hmm.
That's, when we're not going to get that in these movies. We're just not going to get that gold.
Right. Well, and I feel like there's a lot of... I feel like The Force Awakens had a lot of really natural feeling humor, and while there were some very, very funny moments in The Last Jedi, a lot of the comedy felt a little bit contrived.
Also... Luke was just weirdly used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He didn't feel like Luke. Like, he was Luke, but at the same time he didn't feel like Luke, but it's also been 2 years since I saw the original trilogy. And that was the first time I saw the original trilogy. My cousin actually sat me down, like, for a nerd weekend, and we watched everything so I could prepare to see The Force Awakens. And, I mean, so I guess I haven't spent a whole lot of time with Luke Skywalker, but he just didn't feel like Luke Skywalker.
It felt like Luke Skywalker, but Mark Hamill's very tired.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Hamill's like, oh, here we go again.
I'm done.
Which I know isn't true, because he loves Luke Skywalker, so...
It's like, can I be the Joker? I want to be the Joker.
Right. Well, I think that is probably where we should wrap things up today.
Yeah, because we're just going to keep going, because it's not a bad... If you like Star Wars... You'll like it. It is long, though.
Yeah, it's very long.
Don't take your
kids.
It's
incredibly long.
Don't take your own kids. They're going to get bored.
Yeah. It is a very slow movie, but it is also in the way trilogies tend to go, the middle one is always the slowest. So, I mean, it is on par for most middle of trilogy movies. And so I will say that, I don't think it's a bad film in any way, shape, or form. I think that it is wonderful, but...
It was just also, we have to point again at that repaint of Hoth. We see
you.
Right. We see you.
I loved the crystal foxes. They were so cool.
But I'm like, you literally just took the Hoth scene from Empire and just, like, photoshopped it.
Mm-hmm.
You took some AT-ATs and painted over them.
Yep. So anyway, I think that's where we'll probably have to end tonight. I think we're about to run over schedule. So.
Yep. It's getting late. So hit us up on the social media. We are back for 2018, and we'll get back more on our regular schedule now that the holidays are no longer a thing.
Right, and now that all my technical issues are fixed.
Yay! And Gabriel has said he would like to come back too. So. There will be future completely off-tangent ramblings.
Yep, I am so sad that I missed that episode. Like, I was so excited. I was looking forward to it, and then just everything, all, I don't actually set up my audio stuff, my husband does, and so he was gone for the evening, and I was like, I don't know how to fix it.
But it's all good, and this episode is, we're still on track. Star Wars is still, it's Disney.
Yep, no, we're 100% behind the Disney Star Wars thing, which means we can talk about it.
So, as a signing off thing, if you want to amuse yourself, look up the shirtless Kylo Ren meme. Just look it up.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Majestic.
He's beautiful.
Alright, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.